Good morning and welcome to Bay Area Focus. I'm your host, Michelle Griego. Please pitch us future show ideas to facebook.com/Bay Area Focus. We have a great show for you today. We'll discuss substance abuse, counseling, and scholarships for Haitian students. But first, we'll hear from a Tenderloin nonprofit that's been helping low-income families for over 33 years. Please welcome Midge Wilson and Nancy Ong from the Bay Area Women's and Children's Center. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, all right, so tell me about the mission. It's been around for 33 years.
Yes, I actually was the one that founded it, and Nancy's been with us for 30 of those years. And we started because at that time there were no programs for women or children in the Tenderloin. But obviously there were a lot of women living there, and the children were moving in huge numbers at that point. So we got a storefront. We're still in that storefront. We have other programs around the neighborhood.
What are some of the resources you offer, some of the services you offer?
Well, we have half of what we do is direct services. We have a drop-in center. We offer free clothing to women and children twice a week. And we have a food pantry. And women, families also come in for resources and referrals.
Are a lot of the women and children, are they homeless? Are they
Some are homeless.
Struggling?
A lot are just low-income families and women that live in the community or actually live around the city and know about our services. We also led the effort to get the Tenderloin Community Elementary School built, and it's a 400-student K-5 school, and we do many programs at the school. It's 2 blocks up from City Hall on Venice and Turk.
Sure, and that's been around for almost 20 years?
Almost 20. It's been
That's
17.
amazing. And some of the programs at the school, what do they include?
Well, we have after-school clubs for almost 400 children, and it's all free. It's daily.
And we have a dental clinic.
Dental
we
clinic.
have a partnership with UCSF, so they come and do all the dental services for free for the kids. We do the tech program at the school, so we have the computer center and the iPad program, literacy program, library program, parenting classes,
And the
many
gardening
programs.
program.
There's also a library program you talked about. What, they can come and check out books?
They check out all the children, the students get to go into the library and, have a story read to them, and then they check out the books that they can bring home.
Is it amazing to you to think that just 34 years ago there was not something like this to help women and children, especially right in the city?
Yeah, it was interesting. The first job I got when I moved to San Francisco was on the edge of the Tenderloin, and I used to spend my lunch hours walking around and looking around, and I was thinking, you'd see obviously women and children all over the neighborhood, and there was nothing. And so it built slowly, one service at a time, and we kept asking the community, what do you want, what do you need? We kept doing our research. Nancy actually 3 different times over the years went with a student from either Stanford or Cal and to every residential building and got the numbers of the kids and their ages. And then we went back to people and said, we need more programs, not just our programs, but in this community for these kids and families.
It's amazing. So how do you get the word out now?
Right now, a lot of people know our services, but we do have different events. Like certain neighborhood organizations would have an event, we would go and display our information. And
Are there certain requirements the women and children they need to meet to
use our
get the
services? No, we don't say no to anybody that walks in the door. They can be homeless, they can be wealthy, they can be anybody. We just don't ask. If they come in, we serve them.
How is the Tenderloin, how has it changed over the years?
In some ways it's very similar to what it was. I actually lived in the neighborhood and raised my daughter there when she was young for 19 years. And it's still a high crime, it's still a very low income neighborhood, but there are many more programs and services available. So in some ways it's similar, in some ways it's very different than it used to be. But we've both been around, for many years, and we've seen changes, and we've seen a lot of people working and the residents working to bring change.
And it's great that you're enforcing some of that change. That's wonderful. Tell me about the scholarship fund.
Well, the Tenderloin Scholarship Fund, we offer a small amount, up to $1,000 for students who want to pursue colleges after high school. So but the children, it's for mainly children who live in the Tenderloin, and if they no longer live in the Tenderloin, they have to be connected to an agency in the neighborhood, and then they apply.
And these are students, they want to go to college, but they don't probably have the resources to do so.
Right.
So the scholarship helps with things like getting a laptop that they have to have when they're in college, or transportation or books. So it's not to pay for their whole college education, but those things we've learned over the years have made a difference whether kids go or not to college. And just that amount of money and the encouragement we give them by giving them the scholarship has meant a lot.
Sure, access, that's what it's
absolutely.
all about. What kind of change do you see in the women and children who come in the first day into the doors and then down the road using your services?
We've heard many stories. We've heard very many successful stories. Like someone who came in years ago as homeless, and then now they have a job and they're doing well, and they come in to donate their used clothes, and they would say how much we have helped them along the way, and that's really great to hear.
We have a staff that's very stable. We have a fairly small staff, but people come in, it's a really pretty center. So you walk in, it feels like a living room. They're treated so respectfully. The people that aren't allowed to go into some of the other services that exist come in and just feel at home and welcomed. And usually my golden retriever puppy is there to greet people.
Oh, these are great pictures.
Yeah,
this
that's
must
the
be from
library
the
program.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
So we do a library class. Every child at Tenderloin School gets a library class every week.
And a cooking
That's
class?
one of our after-school clubs. We do a cooking club.
That is so wonderful. You're doing great work. Well, Midge and Nancy, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And for more information on services and programs with the Bay Area Women's and Children's Center, please log on to bawcc.org. Again, that's bawcc.org. Coming up, we'll learn about a variety of substance abuse prevention and counseling programs. We'll be right back.